Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. The Bible is super practical. It's not just a book that gives us theories or tells us what's going to happen. For example, it talks about the end times, how life on earth is going to end. Talks about the judgment day, how that's going to look. It talks about all those things, but it doesn't tell us those things just so we'll know about those things. It tells us those things so we can apply it in practical ways now. And we are living in what the Bible calls the end times, the last days. The last days began when Jesus ascended into heaven. The book of Hebrews says, in these last days, he's spoken to us by his Son. So the last days began when Jesus left. Nothing has to happen between now and Jesus coming back. These are the last days. And the Bible tells us practically how to live. And we find that very specifically in the book of 2 Peter. And I have a feeling Peter, who was a businessman, a fisherman, he fixed nets, he made plans. He was a very practical type of person. So his book, although it has a lofty theology in it, it comes down to practical things of how you and I can live in the end times. So give a listen to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10 through 12. But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. The heavens will disappear with a roar. The elements will be destroyed by fire, and the earth and everything done in it will be laid bare. Since everything will be destroyed in this way, what kind of people ought you be? You ought to live holy and godly lives as you look forward to the day of God and speed its coming. So he starts out by making clear the day of the Lord will come. That's the judgment day, the day when Jesus returns in power to judge everyone, the living and the dead. So the day of the Lord will come, and it will come like a thief. A thief, if he's going to rob the house where I live, is not going to send me a text, say, hey, by the way, I'll be there tonight at 3 a.m. to rob your house. A thief comes when we least expect it. So we know the end is going to come. Jesus is going to return, and it's going to be like a thief. He describes it how it's going to be by fire, and everything's going to be destroyed by fire, just like it was in the days of Noah, destroyed by water. But then the key, that's great information, but doesn't help me much in living my life today. So he, of course, brings that information around to something practical for me and for you today as we live in these last days, as we live in the end times. This is what he says next. Since everything will be destroyed in this way, everything will be destroyed. There'll be nothing left. So in view of that fact, that everything is going to be destroyed, here's his question. What kind of people ought you to be? In other words, since this is going to happen, what kind of person should you be? Makes sense, right? Since I know there's going to be something happening, what should I do now? What should I do now? How should I live now? What kind of person ought you to be? And he gives us the answer, 3 simple things. Not simple, clear, simple in that sense, but things we have to apply. 3 simple things. He says you ought to live holy and godly lives. It's the bottom line. Since all of this is going to end, don't get caught up in the things of the world. They're going to be gone. Don't put your hope in those things. Don't put your desire on things of the world. Put your desire on things above, not on things of the world. So live a holy and godly life. Live a Christ-like life now. That's what we have to do now. That's my job. My job description is, Willie, live a holy and godly life now. Your job description from God is to live a holy and godly life now. Why? Because all these things are going to be destroyed, and the end is going to come, and it's going to be Judgment Day. And if you didn't live a holy and godly life, you're going to regret it with every ounce of energy in you when the day of judgment comes. You're going to have regrets. The day of judgment is coming. So how should we live? Holy and godly lives. Number 1. Then he says, as you look forward to the day of the Lord. As you look forward. So our hope, this is what Paul called the blessed hope. Our hope is the return of Jesus Christ. My hope, listen, we're in a political season in the United States. My hope is not on Democrats. My hope is not on Republicans. My hope is not on no-name party or any politician anywhere. I don't put my hope in them. My hope is in Jesus Christ and his return. It's the only hope. It's the blessed hope. It's the time when everything is going to be set right. Right. Man's been trying to get it right for thousands of years. Never gets it right. When Jesus returns, things will be right. So I look forward to that. That's where I put my hope. You know, so many, I look at Facebook, many friends of mine, people are so caught up in the political environment of now. And I'm not saying don't be involved in politics. Yes, there are issues, but put your hope on Jesus and the kingdom to come. Don't put your hope on shaky ground. So we live holy and godly lives. We put our hope on the blessed hope, the return of Jesus Christ. And the third thing is we speed its coming. You say, how can we speed its coming? By doing what Jesus said to do, reach other people. Remember, Jesus is patient. God is patient. And that's why there's a delay, because he wants people to be saved. So the faster we reach other people and bring them to Christ, as it says in the Gospels, this message of the kingdom will be preached in all the world, and then the Lord will return. So our job, my friends, is to live holy and godly lives, put our hope in the return of Jesus, and be busy speeding his return by telling others so that they too will be ready. And there's some tipping point that we will never know what it is. But when the gospel is preached in the whole world, everyone's had an opportunity, then the end will come. So let's speed the coming of Jesus, because that's the only true hope. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.